IMSA family, we're so happy. The time is finally here. Our friend Ian James, driver, team principal, the heart of racing. You've been in the IMSA WeatherTech Championship paddock for a while, done that championship winning thing before in GT racing. What do we have here? Brand new member of the family in GTP, Aston Martin Valkyrie. This is about the prettiest looking thing we have, Ian. The best sounding thing we have. You just debuted this car in competition last weekend in Qatar, WEC. Finally now though, this beautiful blue here in the WeatherTech Championship. Let's talk about this car.
Yeah, obviously the LMH regulations is a little bit more open span. We don't have to use a tub based on one of the LMP2 cars. So it's a bespoke tub, and from there we build it. But obviously the DNA starts with the Valkyrie road car, and then we build it from there.
Tell folks about the unique shapes, because as we mentioned, a lot of the LMDH cars, somewhat similar look. This is a creature in and of itself.
Yeah, I think with the LMDH cars, you know, they have a set canvas and it's a wide flat floor, so there's only so much they can do there. With the Valkyrie, we were able to move the air around the side into like the Coke bottle-esque shape that we've seen in bygone years, and really use the surfaces on top as well as underneath the car to enhance the aerodynamics and the downforce. Obviously they all have the same kind of downforce, it's just how you go about creating them.
So we know the car looks amazing, Ian, but it sounds as good, if not better. 6.5 liter, naturally aspirated V12. Those are numbers that we don't get to use very often in racing today, but it makes the Valkyrie so unique, this Cosworth built motor. Tell us about this. Great power, great torque, trumpet of the gods.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the heartbeat of this car is the V12 engine. That's derived from the road car. We've actually had to detune it per the regulations.
Could be over 1,000 horsepower with all the hybridization and everything, even in naturally aspirated in the high tuned street mode, but down to just a little bit below 700?
700 mark, yep. Then we fine tune it from there. Obviously it's a stress member, you know, part of the car, leading into an X-Track gearbox, you know, which is very common in these GTP cars. But yeah, we apparently the drivers love it. It's very tactile, very smooth to drive, and the noise, like you say, is I don't think there's anything else in modern motorsport that sounds as good.
Also, from a suspension standpoint, as modern as you can get. Torsion bars, front and rear, third spring, managing downforce and loading and such, and dampen, all the good stuff, homologated. I still get a little tickle in my stomach though, because this used to be things that folks covered and made sure no one could see, but at least in homologated racing, there's nothing we can really change here so much. But tell folks about the actual ride and suspension side. Very tunable, very, very amazing.
Yeah, so it's a torsion bar suspension, so there's no actual springs on the car. In the rear, it's all done with the torsion bars. We have the third Heath spring here. Obviously, it's all done by Multimatic, our partner, and you know they're renowned to be the best in the world.
They know a thing or two about damping.
When it comes to ride. So when you see this array of knobs on the dampers, it's surprising how good they can get it. But also we cockpit adjustable roll bars, so the guys can fine tune it via this cable that goes to the cockpit as they're going along. But you know, this series is all about making the tires work, the ride quality, and maximizing like the platform of the car, as you previously mentioned.
So Ian, you mentioned the cockpit adjustable anti-roll bars. There's some beautiful machining inside the cockpit here. Can you show us how drivers actually make those adjustments on the fly?
Yeah, obviously when the driver's sitting in behind it, he can go down here and adjust the front and the rear anti-roll bar by pulling it up and just adjusting it up and down how he wants it to react. So it just softens the roll in the front or the rear of the car. But then we go back to the steering wheel, and obviously it's a proud moment for any driver to sit behind the Aston Martin wings, and we can see the bespoke steering wheel, which has every single control known to mankind, it seems, at their disposal. The brake-by-wire, the traction control, the engine maps. It really is a full-time, every lap they're changing probably 40 to 50 functions, so it's a real busy environment for them. And then because of that, we gave them some little air conditioning which they can then just stick onto their helmet to keep them cool under pressure.
One last thing that's really interesting about the first ever LMH based car in IMSA GTP, all the other cars in the class, Ian, they're hybrids. They use that Bosch MGU, the Fortescue Zero battery and such. This Valkyrie is non-hybrid, the one and only, and yet I've heard this car leave pit lane without the internal combustion engine on. So what kind of magic stuff is happening here? Because how do you leave under quiet electrical-ish power, but it's not a hybrid?
Yeah, so we have something really trick in the back, which is connected to the gearbox underneath here. It's called a starternator. So it's a starter motor, it's our alternator, and it's also a motor. So it can drive us forward, and it's also what we use for reverse gear. So, you know, it's a catch-all to take care of those little things. Packaging of a hybrid wasn't possible on the Valkyrie just because of the layout of the original road car, but we wanted to do as much as we can to incorporate some of those elements.
Brand new to IMSA in GTP, and we're bringing starternator technology to the series. This guy, Ian James, the heart of racing, thank you so much for giving us an inside look at this amazing Aston Martin Valkyrie, already a fan favorite. You still got to do your first race. Watch us this season on NBC and Peacock. Be sure to subscribe to IMSA on YouTube and enjoy our brand new IMSA Endurance Hour podcast. And if you're interested in digital activation in motorsports, visit IMSA.com/partnership.